minutes. That's right on time.
That's right on time. We could have been later.
Right.
Could have been. What's up, y'all? This is Culture Club Conversations, and tonight we all three were able to make it, which is extra
face
special.
is better.
Yes, extra special because it's my birthday week, and my cousins decided to get all glammed up for me. So let's bring it in. I have two, I guess, to the right of me, but to the left of you would be my cousin Green Eyes Net. And then to the left of me, probably to the right of you, is Rem, Real Estate Michelle, my cousin.
And we're all cousins. Actually, I should be in the middle because
like for real. Yeah.
Both are my cousins under.
Hold on. Let me slide the screen. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, he's silly.
Look, y'all
I had one.
Was waiting for me to slide the screen.
Right. I was like, I have mom's side. Come on, wave.
Yeah, for everybody that doesn't know.
I have mom's side, wave.
Mom's side,
Look,
wave.
she still didn't wait. Okay. And I have dad's side, wave. Hey.
Not chop, not karate chop.
chop style. chop style. I got them all.
Hey.
Okay. I'm so excited. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So tonight our conversation tonight is gonna be like a part 1 and 2. But the topic tonight is dreams and discernment. You didn't do the drums.
Oh. The symbol.
So, dreams and discernment. I could say, because again, a lot of it, Rem and I discussed throughout the years. Our family on the mother side definitely has a great, like, we inherited that discernment that has been like just kind of given down, and it's just a good discernment, I should say. I remember. Well, no. Let me let Rem kind of give a little background of her definition.
No, you go ahead. You started. I remember, so you have to finish that.
Yeah, I remember the days. Okay, go ahead. You remember.
So I remember back when our grandmother Dora was alive, and she had great discernment. You could be a friend of a family member. You could walk into the house, and she would nod her head whether or not you had good intentions, bad intentions. She off the top knew like exactly what was what. And I always love that part about. Hold on, let me add these comments that's coming through. But I always love that part of her. She was able to always like look at someone and identify whether or not they're good for you or not just by your presence. I mean, you could have been the kindest, nicest person. You could have come bearing gifts, and she would totally read and see right through you and be able to say, cut them off. No.
Yep.
So that just trickled down. And so I've always had a great discernment. I think my accuracy is probably about 75%, to be honest. It's about 75%. I'm good with discernment. Sometimes I'm off. Sometimes you got me fooled. But what about you, Rem?
Yeah, no. So I think that along with the discernment, for me, I'm gonna speak personally. I think that God speaks to me, and He's been speaking to me for like a very long time. And so when I'm told to do something or to not do something, or I have a feeling, like I could have like a really deep feeling about something, then I listen, because I know like sometimes like the voice of God, like they said, is like quiet, right? So sometimes you can catch the voice of God in quiet.
Yes.
For me, I can catch the voice of God in nature. That's for me.
It is.
And other times in sleep.
Yes.
Or like I said, or just quiet when you're sitting in your quiet place. So That's been happening for a long time in my life, where I can hear the voice or hear something telling me to do something or not to do something, or walk this way or not this way, or whatever it is. Like I could fill in a whole bunch of different blanks for what it could be.
Yeah.
But I think that comes from, like you said, from the bloodline, and then also just being spiritually connected through childhood, um, and just carrying that spirituality, this far. So that's for me. That's
For
how I.
sure. For sure. How about
Mhm.
you?
Boom, boom. So you guys mentioned spiritual and kind of like emotional, which is interesting because it kind of like came to you through family and growth.
Yep.
I learned it. Mine was a learned skill. So I learned it through being a mom of so many children. And in my
Yep.
career now, I'm going to say my accuracy, if as far as my career, is pretty much on 75 or greater because I
Yeah.
have to do it for a living every
Yes.
Yep.
day. No, I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
in my personal life, I might be off a little bit, but I learned eventually to learn to use my learned skill in my personal life because I'll use my learned skill real quick at work and be like, boom. But in my personal life, I tend to like turn it down a little bit when I should just keep it up.
Uh-huh.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I like how it was broke down a little bit because you guys kind of like, in a sense, inherited through your bloodline.
Yeah. And then we also like through our bloodline, like inheriting that. Um, it's we also like I'm saying like the spiritualness of it because we also grew up in the church. So like a lot of that, like creating that like early relationship with God, and then having that because it really is it gives a favor on your life. It gives you a good favor, um, of
It
the
does.
connection and communication, having that that early introduction of knowing how to pray, knowing how to worship, all of that. So then it's like, okay, God definitely speaks to me. I know He really does. Like, and again, some people get it confused. And let's just clear it. And I'm gonna clear it because I have to clear it with myself every single time because I want to ensure that it's not my inner me speaking to me, and it's really God. So I always, I sit still. I be like you said, be in a quiet place, and just really kind of like, and I'm okay with if He doesn't respond back, because he'll respond when He needs to respond. So if I ask, that doesn't mean He will. So I always sit and wait and listen. And of course, it may not happen when I want it to happen, or like the response, but He definitely will respond or show me in nature, or show me confirmation with people. Like someone will come up and say exactly out of the blue
Mhm.
exactly what I needed confirmation on, and it's like, geez, how would you even know that?
Right.
um so,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course I have to know again, and I have to know and trust that it's God, that it's God speaking to me, because He uses us, some of us, to be able to assure each of us, of answers, and just different things, that we need as guidance and just for life in life. So yes, absolutely. So let's kind of go over the dream part, the dreams. I know I am big on dreams that will hit. And with my dreams, most of them, um, they'll hit at least 80%. Like it's definitely a notch up from the discernment.
Mhm.
If I dream something and it's very, very detailed, and it's um, just, like clear, I know it's a message. I mean, that's most people would say this. It's a message. However, I know it's like it's gonna hit within the week. So I remember, and my mom is on here, so she can tap in.
Ah.
My mom is on here, so yeah. But I
Number
remember
one
when I was,
fan.
yes, number one fan. I remember when I was 7 years old, and my mom at the time was pregnant with my brother Chris. She was at the time like 8.5, 9 months pregnant with my brother Chris. And I remember, on a random day, going to her and telling her that my brother was dead. And it was just like out of the blue. I said, he's dead. And she was just like, what? Don't say that. And I was just like, and I just kind of left it at that. Well, that same week, I think even the next day, it was her doctor's appointment, her follow up. And in fact, my brother, she was 9 months, 8.5 months, he was dead. Um, it just came out of my mouth without like me even thinking about it, very involuntarily. So, um, just like I had that dream as a child, and it was true. So I guess the dreams and the discernment kind of matched up. So yeah, what about you, Ram?
She could throw it back on me. Okay.
Because you most
So,
recently, I think Ram and I most recently had a conversation as of like 2 days ago
mhm.
about one of her dreams. Like we always discuss this type of thing because again, it's just that's normal for us. And again, no, we're not into witchcraft.
No, at
Wicked
all.
witchcraft. We're
Please
not.
don't.
That's no.
Don't.
We grew
No,
up in church,
because like what
raised in
people don't understand, you can have spiritual gifts and it's not witchcraft. It's just a
Right. It's
gift
not
not
that,
demonic
black
and
yeah.
witchcraft.
crazy.
Or
Not,
even like some people don't even know how to tap into the gift, right?
that's right.
You can have it and just don't even know how to tap into it.
Mm-hmm.
Some people can call it intuition or whatever, but you can have it and just don't know what to do with it or don't know how to interpret it at
That's
times.
right.
So I've had the privilege, and I'm going to call it very honor to walk with a prophet.
Mm-hmm.
My spiritual mentor, that's what I called him, and my real estate mentor was a prophet. So I had the honor to walk with him, and a lot of things that he spoke, and people will tell you, like I have people that will attest to his prophetic, right? Because he will tell you stuff or speak stuff,
Yeah.
and pretty much 99% of the time he was on point with it because he was that in tune with his spirituality, for lack of better terms. But he would want me to say in tune with God and Jesus and the Father. He would want me to
That's right.
say those things because that's pretty much what he was in tune with. So even people that encountered him, even through me, like, you know, KB can attest, a lot of things that he spoke came true. Because he, back in the day, because I've known him for a very, God rest his soul, he passed away, but I've known him, I knew him a very long time. So even in the beginning of my career, he spoke things into my life and spoke things to me that I never could have imagined was going to really transpire. But it has, because I'm living his prophetic right now.
Right.
So, and that's how you can test if a person really has the gift, right?
The true gift.
The true gift.
The true gift.
Because what'll happen is the things that they speak over you or
Mm-hmm.
out loud will start to happen. That's how you test a true prophet that can speak from the prophetic, in real life. So yeah, so I've had the honor, and it can be scary. It can be intimidating. Don't get me wrong, because you'll be like,
Yes.
"What? What are you saying?" And even
It
my kids
is.
can attest. You'll be like, and
It is.
sometimes you'll be like, "Just don't. Shh. Can we just eat our chicken today, or
Right.
whatever?"
Don't see nothing. Don't tell
Yeah,
me
like
nothing.
I don't even want to go there today because I don't know what you about to say. But he even had predicted, because he lived on 40 plus acres,
Mm-hmm.
and he had not predicted, he would not be happy with that word. He had prophesied that lightning was going to strike his his um his property, because
Mm-hmm.
him and his family were living on a property at that time. And I'm looking at him like, "Are you serious?" It's like, "Yes, I need to move my family from this property because lightning is going to strike this property. So I have to move my family." He moved his family. Lightning struck. Like, it's just a lot. Like, I could literally sit here and just tell you all
Yeah.
this stuff, and you'd be like, "Whoa!" Like, yeah. So, like, God literally told him to go, and like he's even had encounters with God where, like, he's had to shut himself off from the world, from people, so
Yeah.
he could hear everything. Because again, remember I said you have to be quiet. Sometimes you have to remove yourself from that, so he could hear, God speaking and God saying things to him. So, like I said, I had the privilege of having him in my life. And so when people talk about discernment and things like that, that stuff is real.
It's real.
Like, this is real. This is not a game. This is not
And
a
it's
game.
definitely, I consider a lot of my discernment and like my dreams and then the connections with that.
Mhm.
I think it's also a part. I feel like I've always felt like it was favor.
It is.
It was like it was God's favor on me to provide me with ideas of what was what. For instance, and then I'll get to you in screen eyes. I'm sorry.
No, you
But
good.
I remember when I was pregnant with my first son, and I remember at the time he and his father and I were together. We were still dating, and I remember that night he was supposed to come up to see and be with me, that night. And I remember going to sleep, and I remember having a dream that he was getting a tattoo of a woman's name on his right arm. Now, mind you, I'm like 7 months pregnant with his child, and if you see this, you know who I'm talking about. So, and he came up that night. He was running late. He came up that night, and he laid down, and I instantly wanted to see that arm. And he was kind of started laughing, giggling. He was just like, "No, what you doing? What you doing?" And I'm like, "Let me see your arm." He's like, "Well, why? Like, you've never done this before." Well, eventually he let me see his arm. And guess what? He had just left from getting a tattoo of another girl's name on his arm.
Boom.
Very nice. Very nice. What you got?
Boom.
Boom.
Well, you guys know this one because we've talked about it before, but I'll share it because everybody else doesn't know, and since we're talking about it and how the realness of it can be. I actually, in my teens, up until the day I lost both of my daughters, dreamt of losing. I always saw 2 kids passing away with no faces. And I never understood what that meant. It was scary to me because I was young. I would cry in my sleep, wake up like, oh my gosh, like what in the world? But no real reason of how they passed away. And then I grew up. I lost 2 children. So it was almost as if I handled it so gracefully, possibly because I was being prepared for it the whole time.
Yeah.
So a lot of people always say, how do you do it? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know, but I think I was being prepared. Like, hey, I need them back, but you don't know I need them back yet, but I'm going to prepare you. Because I've never experienced a loss like that amongst my friends or any of my family members besides myself who would have lost 2 little people at the same time. So it is real and it's scary. So when you guys were talking, I was real quiet because I was actually getting a lump in my throat, even just thinking about my own dream just now, because I'm like, sometimes I actually also, it's so real that I actually pray a little bit more not to have so many dreams because it's overwhelming for me. Like I do have those dreams and things happen and it's like, whoof, and it's real. So I actually don't dream a lot because I actually pray not to. Like, even in spirits, like when people pass away and somebody says, hey, I saw my grandmother, she was down the hallway. I actually pray not to see that because I'm not ready for any of that. Like, it's so powerful. It can be powerful, emotional, all of that at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's real. Like, I truly believe like you ladies said, you have to be able to tap into it. Because if you can't tap into it, you're not ready for it. And I'm not saying that I'm not completely ready for it because I have it. I already know it. But I just pray for the smoothness of it because it's a lot. It's a lot.
I'm gonna share one that I haven't shared because I don't share it, right? I don't. Like my mom knows it, and anybody that was there that day knows
I'm gonna
it.
ask her.
Please do.
Call her right now while she's telling the story.
So we were in church. I just had my oldest, right? So he's 24. He's 24 now. So it was about 24 years ago or so. And we were in church, and at the time, the pastor, bishop now, archbishop now. And this kind of stuff I didn't like because again, we grew up around that spirituality where you could get called out and certain things could be spoke to you, and you would get called on your master, whatever was going on, because we grew up around the prophetic, right?
Yep.
So he called my name and called me up to the front. And I'm like thinking, what did I do last night? What did I do last week? What did I do last summer? You know, because that's how you feel.
I
Like,
know what you
what
did.
is what is about to happen, right? And so he said, I just want to pray. And like I said, this is the first time for me publicly sharing this, and it was 24 years ago. And he said, I just want to pray for your hands. Okay, cool. We can pray for my hands. That'll
I
work.
remember this. Go ahead.
Yep. He said, I just want to pray for your hands. I said, okay. So he prayed for my hands. And he said, you're going to help a lot of people. I said, okay, good. And he said, in the process of it all, you're going to be, for lack of better terms, wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
I know what he was talking about. Praise the Lord.
I receive it.
I receive it. And I'm like, I'm a broke kind of single mom. I mean, we were, you know, me and my kid's father at the time, we were together, but shoot, we lived in a 1-bedroom apartment and everything. And I didn't know what he was talking about because I'm like 22 at the time. But it's all coming into fruition. And I'm not just, when I say wealth, a lot of people think, oh, she's talking about money.
That's right.
I'm talking about the full circle of that prophecy.
That's right.
It wasn't just about money.
That's right.
It was about helping those that need help. And I mean, that's all I do now. That's
all you do.
So it was,
and you do it really well.
Thank you. But it was the fulfillment of the whole prophecy that came into fruition. And now I can see it. And again, that's how you know that was a true prophecy or a true prophet. Not that we ever question him, but
right.
For those who may watch or are watching, that's how you know.
But it's just you giving the example of how real it is.
And yes, like, and I've never shared that publicly.
And for us being your cousins, like, I'm not just tooting your own horn because you're my cousin, but you are really good at what you do. You make people happy. If you don't believe follow her so you can see the videos of the people that are really super excited. It is. And you're all of us are people. Yes. Even though people may get on your nerves a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But we are people at the end of the day. Like, my dad used to always tell me, he'd be like, you could sell a rock to anybody. Exactly. Because I just be like, he'd be like, you could get that rock off the ground and sell it to somebody.
It's a gift, and like, we all have our gifts, right? Mm-hmm. And in your gift and in your purpose is where you find, like, God will take care of you.
Always.
When you're operating in your purpose, you don't have to really worry about anything. That's not saying you're not going to have challenges or bumps in the road and all those sort of things. Like, those are going to come. It's all a part of the purpose. You just got to know, okay, this is a bump in the road. This is a challenge for now. This is a hard week, a hard month, a hard year, whatever it is. And just take the lesson out of it.
Yes.
Say, hey, you know, I'm fulfilling my purpose. I'm walking in my purpose. And when you hold on to that, like, there's never truly a bad day.
Right. And you hit that on the head. It could go for a long time. Mm-hmm. Like, you just got to ride it out. Because mine went from the time I lost my daughters until I just lost my dad. So it's like never ending, but you can't give up. You have to pray. Like, Lord knows you have to pray. Like, you just really do. Because
faithful, just as faithful as he is. But we can preach on this
all day. Like, y'all touching my whole heart right now. Like, Aunt Noonie would be proud.
It's important. But like,
shout out, Mama.
Yeah, shout out to my second mom, so for sure. But like the favor of discernment, and again, like, a lot of times with the discernment, sometimes if in fact we don't look for it in our awakened life, that's when a lot of times we are offered the dreams to also provide either whether it's confirmation or whatever it is you don't want to see in your awakenness of, you know, because I know you said, Green Eyes, you don't want to witness like ghosts or anyone, you know, spirits or anything like that. But sometimes they'll, you know, you ever had dreams and like you have dreams about someone that passed on, and then you kind of are interacting with them in the dream.
Right.
And you're like, okay, well, I can deal with this.
Yeah.
I can deal with this because I could say it was a dream,
Right.
and it feels better. It feels,
It
to
feels
actually be up and
better.
to be awakened and to have to identify with that spirit, or that it's a whole nother.
Right. Like I've had my grandmother that's not here, my mom's mom, rest her soul. She was like, when I lost my daughter, she said she looked up the steps, and my oldest daughter that passed away was standing at the top of the steps with a white gown on. And then my sister said she saw the baby that passed away. She was changing her daughter, and she flicked the light on, and it was my daughter, and then she had to flick the light again, and it went back to her daughter. It went back and forth, and I was like, what? So when people started saying that to me, that's when I prayed so hard, because I was like, Lord, I'm not ready for that. Like I can't handle that. I can't handle seeing their face on nobody else. I can't handle seeing them up top of the steps. Like I am accepting that they're not here, and I'm trying to deal with that. So if I see them, I would probably maybe lose it. Like I don't know. I'm not ready for it. Yeah. I'm not ready for that part of it. Yeah. So I pray every day for that. Like I used to tell my dad all the time. I'd be like, Dad, and
stay now where you at.
And now he's not here. So I would tell him about the girls. Now he's not here. So I'm like, I love you to death, Daddy, but don't pop up in my room trying to explain something that I'm going through, because I'm gonna lose it.
Yes.
I'm glad I haven't had to deal with that, but I deal with things popping up, reminders, or just when you're thinking about a certain thing. Like earlier, Miss Mocha, I was driving and I looked down at my keys, and my grandmother is staring at me, and I'm just like, hey, Granny.
Right. And now
things like that. Like,
I'm
like, okay.
Too, and I love those. Those are heartfelt moments. Yeah. Like we have a keychain, yes, with our loved ones on it. And mine hangs in my room because I'm like, in my head, I don't want to mess up the picture. So I just hung it on my but it's always my dad looking at me when I wake up in the morning. So every time I wake up, I come with me. And see, and I get it.
I have to take her with me, because there are like that, like what happened earlier. And I was just like, hey, like that right there for me is like comfort.
Yeah.
So when you
then when I wake up to
and that's why I wanted to do that for you too, because I know like that would be a small piece of comfort.
That little piece of token, yes.
A mandatory piece of like a mandatory that you have to carry your keys,
Right.
Everywhere you go.
Yeah. And it's always like I wake up and I look at my dad. He like, good morning.
He like, good morning.
This is an exclusive. So, Rem, you shared something exclusive with us. This is an exclusive. I've never told anyone this. I think I've told both of you, but I've never told anyone. And of course, I am very much an open book on most things. So, this is very, very interesting. So, probably about 3 years ago, I had a dream of my grandmother. I've never had a dream about her before. And actually, my mom is on here, and she's never heard this. I don't believe I've ever told her. But
I'm about to call her.
3 years ago, I had.
This green eyes about to call everybody
mama.
We need a fact check. We need a fact check.
Get her on the phone. But I had a dream about my grandmother, and we were in, and both of you know the house. We were in the dining room area by the sideboard. She was standing right next to the sideboard.
I'm sorry.
Somebody dumb. You lying. You lying.
She was standing right next to the sideboard near the door to go into the rooms, the back rooms.
Yep.
And she's standing there, and I'm standing there right under the like rod. And she said to me my ex-husband's name. And she said, no good.
That's deep.
That was the dream.
That is real deep.
That was a dream.
Look, I had to
sit
there.
That was 4 years ago, before anything and everything. and I sat on that for a long time because sometimes, you know, when you dream or when you have conversations or when you see or witness anything with spirits or your ancestors, you don't need to tell everybody right then and there. You can use it later as a testimony. However, I remember I was so like that never, I think like almost at some point every single day I think of that dream. Not even really anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it was all a dream.
Um, so, but she told me he wasn't it.
Uh-huh.
And I like stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
to see. But you said you physically saw her, or was it a
I
dream?
But you know what?
saw
That could have been your confirmation, her helping you out.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we debate, like, am I doing the right thing? Am I
Yeah.
really feeling
she
this?
helped me
Like,
out. She
you
helped
know,
me out.
because sometimes we do question, like, okay, is this what
Yeah.
I'm really feeling? Right. So
She
yeah,
helped me out
yeah,
for sure.
most
And
definitely. Like, I would have took that definitely as the sign
well, that was
if I
the
needed
sign.
one.
That was the sign.
Okay,
And
if
that
I
was
needed
years
one.
ago, and I moved my feet a year after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a sign, and I was blown away because I've never had a dream. Like, you know, my other cousins, my mom, other people had always said, like, you know, I had a dream about, you know, grandma or my mom, and I was just like, I haven't seen her. I haven't dreamed, and that was a dream.
Yeah.
And she just, and after she said his name, she was like, no, and she just did her head, and that was it. That was just that quick, fast confirmation.
Yeah.
Of my grandmother. So
And honestly, I think that they know how much we can handle.
yeah.
So they won't.
I'ma just listen to y'all because my dad don't care. He would just bother me, so I need him to stay where he at.
Do you
No,
see
no,
him?
because I asked not to. So how you
Okay.
guys are saying you see them, I know that my dad, when he would get comfortable with it, and then it would start to be like,
Too
Daddy,
much.
like,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
So like
I've
how
seen
you
you enough
saying
this
that.
week.
So
Bye.
you saying like, I think they know what you can
What you
handle,
can handle.
and I think my dad would, but you know my dad, he
Yeah.
goofy in real life,
He'll be
like.
like, boo.
Right, and I'm down the steps like, like no. I
Yeah.
love you, Daddy, but I will see you in my dreams. Okay.
Right. Right. Yep. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
So the discernment in dreams, that was our spiel. I think
Yeah,
we're
that's
gonna
a
get
big
more.
one.
Yeah, I think we're
Yeah.
gonna get more in depth because I do have a few people that have some great stories and experience.
And I want to hear them because I know
Yes.
how it
Absolutely.
feels. Like the three of us talking, and we personally have had our own experiences, and not just once, multiple times. Like we could endlessly share. This could be a topic that could go on forever.
For sure.
But I want to hear other people's stories for sure. So even if you don't come on and share your story, make sure you DM us and let us know, or under the comments, let us know what you have witnessed or felt to make you feel like you understand what we are talking about.
Absolutely. We would love to hear other people's experiences.
Indeed.
Indeed.
And but we still real though.
Oh,
Don't
you
come
see
on
my
here with
Yeah.
henna?
like don't come
My
on here with
I
henna?
no
love
goofy
it.
stuff.
I love it.
I love it.
But let's be
So
clear. Let's be clear. We don't play with black magic here or evil
No, not at
witchcraft.
all.
So let's
Not
be
at
clear.
all. That
Let's
is,
be
and that
clear.
has nothing to do with it. Everything we're talking about is spiritual feelings, emotional feelings, and something that you can learn. And if you
Yes.
don't know that, then you need to look up the word discernment real
Yeah.
quick because it doesn't say voodoo or black magic.
Yeah. We
That's
don't
a different thing.
yes,
absolutely not.
that's it.
No, because we know from being raised spiritually how that can be harmful
Yes.
Right.
to not just the person that thinks that they're doing, not just the people that the persons think that they're affecting, but also the person.
Yes.
Right. But you
People don't
also
realize that
And
part.
you also get people that don't really know black magic that
Mhm.
look stuff up and try stuff. It's
Yep.
not something to try. Either that's what you want to do, and that's like your religion type of thing, how we believe
Mhm.
in something else, or you just don't do it at all. Don't play around with it.
Don't play
Like
around. If you don't know what you're doing, Don't play around with it, because
Because it'll come back on you.
I have enough stories right now that I could share where people have done that, and they are struggling or not even here anymore.
And then don't mess
Don't do
with
that.
God's children, because
It will boomerang on
I
you.
have some stories where some people thought they was getting one over on me, and now they got the one over on them.
It will
So,
definitely
and I didn't do anything. It was just like, God is like, enough.
correct.
I know what my child has been through. You don't get to put her through anymore. Here, let me help you out.
It will definitely boomerang.
It will. And it's not to
So
say
don't do
God
it.
is out here doing evil to people in the favor of his children that he loves. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying karma is real, so just watch out.
So it's really simple. It's really simple because it's in the Bible, because it says, touch not my anointed. So, I mean, you can look that up in scripture. So when you know that someone has an anointing on their life, you touch not them.
Correct.
It's
and
simple.
I truly believe it. So take your witch magic and put it in a bag.
I'm a whole neon light.
Yes. We bring light.
Yes.
Turn the lights
For real.
down.
We bring light here.
None of that, like, like I got some friends who have mentioned like all of that type of stuff, and I just we not friends
of people
like that.
Practicing that, especially females. I've noticed have really started.
And it's like, who did you? Who hurt you?
Yeah,
who
and I mean it's always been a thing, but even more so now, especially with females. Because a lot of females in our day and time want to control.
Yes.
But they can't control.
Yes.
And so they a lot of times fumble into this
football in 9 weeks. Shout out to Fumble.
Yes. They dumble. They dumble. That too.
They stumble and fumble.
They fumble and they play with the wrong spirituality. And it's bad.
It is bad.
It's bad.
Indeed. I sit around and watch the karma all day.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Just saying.
Yeah.
So we can put a period to the end of the dreams and discernment, and we're gonna move to the next topic, which is the chat, the cousins chat.
Okay.
Let's do the drum roll, please, all together.
Yeah! Somebody playing the cymbals. And we are cousins, okay? So the people that don't know us, we are Culture Club Conversations podcast cousins.
Culture Club Conversation cousins. Okay.
This is the blended version at its best. Blood cousins, like somebody mama is somebody's sister brother. Like
yeah, that's it. That part.
I can't.
And we knew each other when we was younger too.
Right, and don't get it twisted. It's nothing wrong with being friends with somebody and saying that's my sister, that's my brother, but like you gotta know when it's real and when it's not, and this is real.
Because you guys are our cousins as well.
Yeah, you are culture.
Family.
You are culture cousins.
Yes, culture cousins.
Let's do cousins chat and let's talk about my birthday.
Yay!
So
she is going on a worldwide tour. For real for her birthday.
We will be flying out tonight. We will be flying out and we won't be back until sometime next week. I'm not going to speak too much on our location, but just
how long you gonna be gone
because
we always got
sometime next week. We got it.
But you know what Beyonce says: if you like it, then you could put a ring on it. So that's a hint.
Everybody got one on their ring finger too.
Well, I purposely didn't wear any of my rings because.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy
birthday
to you!
And then you're gonna be like bling bling every time I come around your city. Bling bling. Bling bling.
That's a throwback. That is definitely a throwback.
But
So
I'm
that's what
excited
I'm
for your
excited
birthday. I'm excited for you
Yeah.
to come to DMV as one of your stops.
Of course.
Woo!
Of course.
That's gonna be amazing. And then you
Yeah.
can, show
Right.
somebody how we get down in the DMV.
That's it. That's it. So, anything that's going on social media that we want to discuss? Well, let's discuss it.
Internet gangsters. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that too
Let's
fast?
discuss it.
Internet
I
gangsters.
recently came across a video on Instagram of a woman that turned 40 years old. Speaking of birthdays, she turned 40 years old. She recorded herself in her car crying her eyes out because she turned 40 and she felt like she did not accomplish enough.
Yes.
I think I
You
saw
sent that
that.
to me.
At
You
40.
sent it to me.
That is, she felt like her accomplishments wasn't enough or where it should be or could be. She was just really feeling down on herself on her birthday, turning the milestone of 40. And as each year goes by, I guess, we always reflect on about the past year of our birthdays. And I think,
Always.
yeah,
Yes.
I think sometimes people get caught up in putting themselves on a timeline along other people. Some people think, oh, I'm 40, such and such. She has a family, 2 houses, a husband, 4 kids, 3 cars, and a partridge and a partridge. So a lot of times people always want to be in line with others. And so when their milestone or their new year comes, they feel less accomplished because they are watching other people. Let me first tell you this. Social media, most of it is fake. Most of it is, again, it's called content creators. They're creating content.
They are
Everything is not always.
pretending.
Let me tell you. So it's so important that, when you watch other people, whether it's on social media or real life people in your life, you have to just be happy for them or what you see and the things you don't see. Because a lot of people, we have real life problems and issues, struggles and everything else. However, we're supposed to come not quite looking like what we've been through.
Right.
That's the goal, right?
Right. If I look like what I've been through, good good.
Child.
I would be a mud duck.
Not the mud duck.
A booger wolf. A booger wolf.
It's important to not compare yourself to others, to compare yourself to yourself the year prior, and to build from that. So even if within the year of her last birthday of her 39th to 40, if she was able to get out of the bed 365 days out of that year and to live and to be in the day of however it looks, she won.
Right.
Let me tell you how I see it.
God has blessed her life, her health to make it to another year. It's so important. And as I approach a new year, it's so important that, and when I saw that, I was just like, oh my God, because I feel, I'm gonna be honest, I don't feel like I'm celebrated enough.
Mm-hmm.
By granted, I've gotten accomplishments and things and accolades at work, but I feel like sometimes I'm like, however, I don't compare myself to no one else.
Right.
I just don't. We all have different factors of life. We do. So what do you both think about that?
This is how, and I think about this at times. This is how I feel. I feel if this was your end, what would they truly say about you? Not, oh, she had 2 degrees and this and that. What impact did you truly make on the world?
Yep.
On the people you love, right? And the people that love you.
Yep.
What impact do you have on that? Is your legacy. Your legacy is not monetary. It's not the house, it's not the cars, it's not built around what you accomplished. Because guess what? You can't take none of that with you.
It won't be listed in the obituary either.
It won't be there. But what was the impact of your life? What is your life story? Who did you impact? What difference did you make amongst the people you love and the people that love you? That is what truly matters. And I think that we get so caught up in the material side of everything because
Mhm.
we live in a country of capitalism.
Mhm.
Yes.
And we're taught that you gotta do all this to accomplish all this, and we have to have this or you're not successful. It's a bold-faced lie.
Yep.
Mhm.
All lies. What did Jesus have?
Nothing.
2 feet.
And the crazy
Okay.
part is you're so right. Like you could both of you said so many things where that person you see everybody may look happy, but they could be getting beat up
Yeah.
behind closed doors. You
Yeah.
don't know what is going
Yeah.
on inside somebody's house. Like
Mm-hmm.
you just worry about you, don't worry about nobody else. Guess
Mm-hmm.
what? I'm not where I wanted to be at the age that I am right now. But I'm happy and I'm looking, and everything that I've ever wanted is now falling in my lap because
Yes.
my patience, my prayers, like, and unfortunately, sometimes it takes for you to lose these people for you to get yourself together and figure it out.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everything my dad wanted me to do when he was here. Thank God he lived through most of it, but
Yeah.
now I'm like I'm doing everything for him still.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, and then you just if you can't do it for yourself, find something to do it for.
Yep.
Yes.
It's gonna
And
be a
yeah,
reason.
that really touched my heart because she was really, really. First of all, okay, time out. Who who really like records them crying?
Right. That's
Like
like
when I'm
You
crying,
know?
I'm like, I don't need no phone. I don't. But she was
that's
really, really upset and crying and emotional about her making 40 and her feeling like she wasn't where, and I'm sure her comparison was because of, probably some people on social media or her
mm-hmm.
friends.
Or her friends.
Yeah. And she was just really, really, really emotional about that. And
That
that
goes for
really,
your
really touched
post
my
that
heart.
you posted a post earlier that said, "What shouldn't you do over 40? That record yourself crying in the car because you think
Girl.
life sucks. You still here."
But you know what? I'm gonna contradict that just a little because a lot of people say, "Okay, why do you come to social media to do certain things?" And me personally, I wouldn't, right? But if it means that you have to come to social media to cry so you don't kill yourself,
Okay.
come to
Yeah.
social media and cry.
Yeah.
Some people do use it as an outlet because they feel alone, and
Yeah.
that is
Right.
their connection to the outside world outside of themselves. So I never really now do I think some people are being extra at times when it comes to certain things? Yeah, I do. But I also know that sometimes it's a cry out for help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It really is. And I think sometimes we emphasize, oh, they doing too much or they da 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 da. And again, that could be our own personal opinion, but again, I see it deeper that it could be
Yeah.
a cry for help.
Always. And I think
You
a lot
never
of
know.
times,
She might have woke up that morning and said, I don't want to live 40 more years.
absolutely. And
But then she went to social media and cried it out and got
people
it
got
out.
calls and
Yes.
out to her. Like
Yeah.
let me say this. I give so much more grace than anything. So like yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it's very like you doing all that on, you know.
Yep.
But however, I feel like some people it's again it's always the motive. If
True.
it's a bad
If
a
it's a
motive
sincere
intent,
motive,
the
if it's
intent is,
sincere,
is is for evil or for to bash or hurt someone,
correct.
then no,
That's
absolutely
correct.
not.
That's
Because
correct.
hurt people do, they really do hurt people. They
Yep.
find other, they may not hurt you the same way, but they can try to hurt you a different way. And yes, absolutely, always utilize your outlets.
And that's where
Whether it's
discernment comes in, right?
yes,
So you can use discernment to know. And sometimes we do know when somebody's just being okay, they just being a little extra today. But then at other times it's like,
I know some
you know,
extra people. Let me know when we doing the episode where we shout out extra people.
we can yeah, let's do that one day. But it won't be 2 days because it's cancer season, honey.
we're gonna bring the list and just shout out.
Yeah, and we're gonna be like, shout out to such and such for
Actually,
being
you know what?
extra.
Actually,
Let's do the extra awards, right?
Yeah, and it could be called extra extra. Read all about it.
no,
Oh my
she said
God.
extra awards. I like that.
I like that.
Uh-huh.
And the segment's called Extra
And then you know
Extra
what
because
we'll do? We'll send them. We'll cash app them some money.
okay. Okay. So they could be more extra.
That's the cancer coming out in her.
That's the
It's
cancer
okay.
because if you're gonna be extra, I'm gonna be extra too. But I'm gonna I'm gonna pay you because
look at me. I'm like, no,
you don't get
now
paid
they gonna buy
extra,
props.
but I'm gonna pay
They
you
gonna buy
somebody.
props to be extra. Like, geez.
I am done.
But not both of y'all was like.
Yeah, hey, that must have been a Wallace thing.
Like, hold on.
We was like, that's when the money side.
We said we're giving an award. We didn't say we were giving out money.
Y'all ain't let no money go. Y'all ain't
Right,
let no money go.
we said reward. You like
No, I'm gonna cash up
$50. Just
$50.
know that came. Just know that came with donations from
Actually,
us
you know
in
what?
Maryland.
Let's just send them 100. That's it. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
no, and I
Oh,
know
my.
and I know we're gonna do something like that because we recently gave out 2 awards already.
Yeah.
So I already know if she's talking about it, I'm gonna have to stand in there. So
What else y'all got before we wrap it up? Because it's almost an hour.
yes.
well, we'll wrap it up on this one because it's close to your birthday and you gotta travel and we want you to have safe travel and mercies, all that good stuff.
Enjoy.
Yes, enjoy every moment of peace being with
This
your
year being
homie.
so different. This
Yes.
year kind of jumpstarts a brand new season in my
For you.
view.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
like you've been
enjoy
through so
everyone
much
with that.
you deserve this vacation.
Yes.
And
I
you were
hard.
for everything. Yes.
Yes.
So we will be not I'm not gonna say mean because we're not mean. I'm just like, I just like to go boom. So we're gonna come back with those episodes after Marilyn's birthday.
Please do.
But before we leave, we always want to leave you with mental health issues is real. We're gonna say it again, it's getting hot outside, so people are not taking care of their mental health. They're hot outside. We've had 2 incidents in the city. I spoke of this before where they had mental health issues and they got shot by the police because the police didn't understand that they were having mental health issues. They were in the middle of the street. Like, check on your people. Like, check on your people. Like, if you got a cousin that was like, So just check on your cousin.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Make sure you check on people that I call them strong people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your strong people. Family, friends.
Definitely
check
because we are those people in our group. Like people, I thank everybody who checks on me all the time because I walk around like I'm like Superwoman, and I'm really not. Like, Superwoman cries a lot, so Superwoman be turning into a crybaby.
It's important to always check in, and I know I try to, like, do a touch in. To touch everybody and say, hey,
you do, because you're good at saying you're good at least saying, are you good? Like the words "are you good" will come across my screen, and when I see that, no matter what I'm doing, if I see those words, I have to tell you that.
When I see that, I roll my eyes. I'm not even gonna lie to you, and I send that SBD. Because she knows we hate when people actually do that. But she doesn't.
Like, I feel like I don't see a lot of my family a lot. However, like, we can cash app. I guess should I open up my cash? No, I don't do none of that because that's panhandling when you post your cash app. And I ain't paying.
What you was gonna do it for?
You gonna post your cash?
No, for your birthday.
No. I started to say I try to FaceTime, but then Cash App came out, so I was just like, should I post my cash? Yeah, that's panhandling. But anyway,
that's not panhandling. That's just showing people. That's hey, I'm more popular than you. You fake Instagrammer. Oh, I said I was gonna be nice.
Okay, so I think it's important that I take the time. Like, it takes a minute to just send a text and say, again, you good, or whatever. Like, that's important to me. Y'all are important to me. The people that are important to you, you'll do that for. Absolutely. You'll take a minute to do that for. Period. Absolutely. Like, it doesn't matter what I think you may be doing. Like, Rem, you could be in the trenches down in Charles County, somewhere in the woods, showing a house or look for. I'm gonna still text you. You
Whole
may get
day,
it
just
tomorrow.
on my
You may
whole
get it
day.
tomorrow. You may get it tomorrow, but then
You got no
next week when I
service.
check in.
Right.
So, but other than that, I just want to say I love you both.
We
I
love
will
you
be,
back.
leaving to hit the airport soon, but I will be praying that I'll have a safe flight. And I
Yes,
thank you so
and
much.
we're not announcing no times or nothing. It'll just be pop up everything because we don't play that. People knowing where we at when we there. I will post hours after I leave so you don't show up where I'm at. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm open to it.
Good
So, have a good night, Culture. We love you
Good
night.
night, everyone. Thanks for joining.
so much.